I think if you try and move and get a perfect puck out against Limerick, I think they're very good to stop that. And they have their process in place. They have really long athletes. They're really fast athletes, like the Kilkenny of yesteryear. It has to be absolutely perfect. And your goalkeeper and your outfielder have to be perfect in what they're doing, their execution. So I think, and I admire Davy Fitz for this. I don't think we can actually do that. I don't think we're better than Limerick to do that. So what we'll do is we'll puck it down on Burns, right? I think he caught the first one. We'll puck it down on Burns, but we'll make sure to have more runners coming onto that break. And it was about breaking the ball. Like Waterford, bar Ozzie Gleeson, aren't fantastic in the air, really. Maybe Mikey Kiley, but probably not as a proven wing forward. So we're going to puck it down on Burns. We're going to jostle into him. We're going to make it hard, make sure he doesn't catch it, which should be relatively easy. If you're only concentrating on knocking the ball to the ground, it should be easy to,
different story if you're trying to win it. Like,
yeah, sure. The worst thing a forward can do at times is try and win it, because it sets the back man up to jump in your back, and that's what the back man prefers. But they always had 2 or 3 coming onto the break, and the key to that is, and it's a kind of a defensive puck out too. The key to that then is that even if a Limerick guy wins it, there's still 2 or 3 Waterford lads who are coming for the break of the ball, and they're that barrier straight away. Whereas if you're trying to play these expansive puck outs and it doesn't come off, suddenly Kyle Hayes is running down your throat. And it's like a breakaway in rugby, where the whole thing is broken up and it goes from player to player to player to player. And inevitably you look like you can't win a ball in the half-forward line. You look like, oh, geez, they're too slow. Because when a team gets a run in you, with the pace and power that Limerick have, it's impossible. It's impossible. Their hands are too good. They're too fast. So I enjoyed that one. And also defensively, I think it was Darragh Lyons. To me, they played, I didn't see exactly. I'd love to have been there. But it looked like they had 4 in their half-back line. A literal 4, not a lad hanging, 4 in there. And the amount of times Darragh Lyons was the player that was with Tom Morrissey and seemed to be following him. And so if you 4 in that area, as you know, you have a lot less space to cover off. And so wherever the half-forward line in Limerick run, there seemed to be a Waterford body with him. I was very impressed with that. Many times the Limerick play, and Grode Hegarty or Tom Morrissey or Lynch are after making little runs, and they've 3-4 yards on their opposition player. And certainly after the first 10-15 minutes the other day, and it was happening early, because you remember a ball that Hegarty had pucked out in front of him but bounced awkwardly. He actually had that ball, only it bounced funny and it came away to his marker. I think it was Fagan. But after that, it didn't seem to happen. They were touch tight, and really hard to do that. But I think they had help with an extra half back. But that was very interesting. And if I was a Clare, somebody in the management team, I'd be looking closely and right, how did they do that? And as you see, they withdrew 1 man out, so they gave the puck out short. But this time, usually if Limerick get a short puck out, they have the movement up front. But there was 4 and a half back line that didn't allow it, so that was very impressive.